we're lucky to have some more of our friends here who have come to be with Swamiji. So let me take this moment to introduce Puja Guruji Swami Nityananda Giri, who is an accomplished yogi and a revered monk from Rishikesh. He is a Yogacharya and master in the tradition of Mahavatar Babaji's Kriyayoga, in the lineage of Lahiri Mahashaya, Sri Yukteswar, Paramahamsa Yoganand, Prabhuji, Swami Narayan Giri, and Paramahamsa Hariharananda. He has been teaching and initiating seekers to the Kriyayoga meditation techniques in India and abroad since 2005. It is Swamiji's mission to disseminate the knowledge he received from the great masters of the lineage and his own realization for the benefit of mankind. Swamiji was born in a small village in Odisha. After earning a PhD degree in genotoxicity, he taught undergraduate and graduate students at a regional institute of education in Bhubaneswar for 6 years prior to renouncing the world and entering the Giri order of sannyas. Swamiji has authored an acclaimed book on Kriyayoga. Swamiji has authored an acclaimed book on Kriyayoga, which provides a clear exposition on the philosophy, science, and practices of Kriyayoga. Today, Swamiji is going to enlighten us on Kriyayoga in the light of Bhagavad-Gita, or vice versa, or intertwined, something. He only knows what he's going to talk about. So, without wasting any more time of yours, I'm going to hand it over to Puja Swami.
Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaktam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darsitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Shuklamvaram Dharan Vishnum Shasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Varanam Dhyaye Sarvabhishma Pasantaye Vasanat Vasudevasya Vasitam Bhuvanatrayam Sarvabhutu Nivasosti Vasudevo Namastute. Good day, everybody. Yesterday we have discussed Kriyayoga, the science of self-realization. Now, today I have been asked to talk about Kriyayoga and Bhagavad-Gita. Entire Bhagavad-Gita is Kriyayoga. Entire Bhagavad-Gita. Techniques, what do we do in Kriyayoga? Techniques are a process. That is not much discussed. But the core technique is discussed. The core meditation technique is discussed, but all these nitty-gritties of techniques are not discussed, only the philosophy. Now, if you, since you are studying regularly Bhagavad-Gita, you know it has 18 chapters. All the 18 chapters is ended with yoga. Arjuna, Visada, yoga. Karma, yoga. Ending with Moksha, yoga. So all is yoga. So entire Bhagavad-Gita, it is a synthesis of different paths. Be it karma, be it jnana, be it bhakti, be it yoga. But in the core is the yoga. That is why each one, the word yoga is used. So first we have to understand what is yoga. I will discuss it in light of the, not going to discuss the bhakti or jnana or karma, because we need at least 1 year course for them to complete. Just how Kriyayoga is described, or the yogic practice path is described here. To go to that, you have to little go to the background of the Bhagavad-Gita. It is a war time. It was told in a war. Mahabharata maybe happened before 3,500 years ago. And there some teachings were given. But had the Mahabharata ended, it is still going on. Where the Mahabharata is going on? Within ourselves. Hastinapur is within ourselves. If you try to find the meanings of the words, the allegories behind the words, we will be able to understand many things. The name of the kingdom is Hastinapur, where there are elephants. We are all elephants. Elephant is perhaps the most rational animal. Elephant is very kind, do you know? Very kind animal. When people transport elephants from India to other countries, they transport it via plane, big planes. What they do? They leave the plane full with small chicks. Then elephant will stand still entire duration, because if he moves or puts his leg somewhere, one chick will be died. So compassionate. I can remember one story from the life of Buddha, Bodhisattva, when from animal life he got the first human life. You know, maybe many of you know that story. There was a fire in the forest. So all the animals were running away to save themselves. At that time, the Buddha's life, Bodhisattva life, was like life of an elephant. That elephant was also running. Suddenly, one small mouse come in front of him and he stepped there. Because if he will step on, that mouse will be died. To save that small creature, it didn't move. And finally died. So compassion. Also, elephant is a big ego. Very big ego. Sometimes we normally say white elephants, big elephants. Means it is very much used in India when we say about the bureaucrats and others. They don't listen to the public. Countries, a lot of money is spent on them. They are so egoistic, so uncaring to the public. Then we use the word white elephant. Elephant is ego. Elephant is prosperity. We see the Vahana of Mother Lakshmi is elephant. Vahana of Vishwakarma is elephant. Elephant is creation. Elephant represents prosperity. Elephant represents ego. Elephant represents compassion. And the land of elephants is Hastinapur. Land of elephants means we all are elephants. Our brain is the head of the elephant, the spinal column is the trunk of the elephant. That is the one where the yogic spiritual practices takes place. But we forgot our own nature. Then what happened? There was a king. I just give some background. All these things have meanings, allegorical meanings. If you want to read details, because it is not possible to tell in 1 hour session all these things, please read the Bhagavad-Gita, the commentary of Bhagavad-Gita written by Bhupendranath Shamel, Mahasaya, Yogiraj. He was the direct disciple of Mahavatar, disciple of Yogiraj Ramacharana Lahiri. His Bhagavad-Gita is available in 3 volumes. It is originally written in Bengali, but Hindi and English translations are available. But in my opinion, the English translation that I read in 2002 is not up to standard. Maybe that is improved now, but translations are available. What is Dhritarastra, the king? King is a blind king. Who is that king, blind king? Rashtra means state, Dhrita means hold, one who is holding the state, one who is holding the kshetra. Dharma kshetra, Kuru kshetra. This spine is Dharma kshetra. This spine is Kuru kshetra. So far, Kriyayoga practice is concerned. Idam Sariram Kunteya Kshetra Vidhiyate. In Bhagavad-Gita, Bhagavan says, "Oh, the son of Kunti, this body is the kshetra. This body is Dharma kshetra. And this body is also Kuru kshetra. And when they assemble, what he say? Mamaka Pandavas chaiva. My children and the children of Pandu. Already he has made separation. Both are cousins. One who is holding this Rashtra is Dhritarastra. And that Dhritarastra is a Brahman. Who is it in our body? It is our own mind. Dhritarastra in this body, Mahabharata, represents our own mind. And since it is blind, it is differentiating. Being a king, he is even differentiating between his children and his own brother's children. Then what he will do with the citizens? Who are his children? The first one is Duryodhana. Who is that Duryodhana? Which cannot be controlled. That is the ego. Duryodhana represents our ego. This is all our inner spiritual practices. And how is the nature of the Duryodhana? Lahiri Baba is saying, Kama Rupam Durasada. In Bhagavad-Gita it is said, Kama Rupam, the form of desires. Durasada. Very difficult to control. So our ego has taken the form of Kama Rupa, the form of desires, and we are not able to control. That is our problem. Don't want to give anything. They are within the body. So here the Kauravas are representing the demonic qualities within us, and Pandavas' side is representing the divine qualities within us. If you read the Devasura Sampati Vibhaga Yoga of Bhagavad-Gita, then you will find Bhagavad clearly mentions what are the divine qualities and what are the demonic qualities. So divine qualities is the side of Pandava and demonic qualities is the side of Kauravas. Now there is a war, and it is always going on within us. Our divine forces within us and the demonic forces within us. We have always in duality. If we have greed, we have also the sense of giving dana, donation. We want to donate. Simultaneously we are greedy. We have cruelty. Simultaneously we have compassion. each quality within us are dual. And who wins? Mostly within us, the demonic quality when there is a war, because they are not able to control. So we have to declare a spiritual war within them. That is the most important thing. But the problem is we cannot win this war. Till Bhisma is there. Bhisma knows everything, but he is still in the side of the Kauravas. That Bhisma is nothing but Asmita Chaitanya, or I sense, not ego, I sense. Feeling of I, me and mine. That with the, on the forefront of the war, as the leader, the war cannot be won. That is why Krishna said, first kill. Yes, he is a good person. Yes, he is a noble person. He is aware of the scriptures. But till that person is there, the side of Dharma cannot win. Also cannot win if there is Drona. The second best warrior there. How? Who is this Drona? This Drona within us is our intellect. Sanskaraja buddhi. Intellect based on impressions, learnings. Similarly, we will find all the characters. They are representing our inner qualities. Who is Pandavas? Pandavas are the son of Pandu. Pandu is Sattu, knowledge. And within us, that Sattu Buddhi does not live long. That is how the nature of the world is. Now the Sattu Buddhi dies, but it has 5 children. These 5 children, you can say 5 sense organs, you can say 5 bhutas, you can say 5 senses, and they are connected to each other by Mother Kunti. Kunti Sabda, from where the word Kunti comes? Kunto. Kunto, what will be the English? It is like a
Spear.
sword, like a javelin.
Javelin.
It can be thrown long. This is how a spiritual practice. Yudhisthira was very expert on throwing Kunta. If it is there in his hand, no one can win it. That means, when in our spiritual practice, in Kriyayoga, the first Kriya technique, we take long and deep breaths. We can throw breaths long. That is the power of Yudhisthira. That is why he has reached a state when among the war, inside the wars, he can remain stable. Yudhisthira is the one who can always remain stable. Similarly, if you say the breaths, all the breaths are different types of breaths, like Bhima breath, the second Kriya breath. Those who is learned this thokkar kriya in Kriyayoga, they understand that how, like with a mace, hitting the centers. But the main warrior is Arjuna. Main warrior is Arjuna. You have to pull your bow long up to the ear. This bow is your spine. Breath is the arrow. And you yourself is the Arjuna. Arjuna is the mind center, Manipura. Arjuna's place is in Manipura. Nakula and Sahadeva. Nakula is the most beautiful one among the all. That is related to Swadhisthana. and Sahadev is Muladhara. They are looking after what? Cows and horses. Sahadev was looking after cows and Nakula was the horses. Horses means, horses also represents mind. It goes, it roams. But these all are purified forms. That is why they are related to Krishna, related to Kunti. This is how each one, even if you go on describing the first chapter of Bhagavad-Gita, which normally does not want in other interpretations, other commentaries, we don't go on. If you look, we will find that even we understand the first chapter, we will understand how the kriya techniques are and how it will happen. But here I will discuss generally first how is a philosophical way the Kriyayoga is related to the Bhagavad-Gita. So where the first yoga word comes in Bhagavad-Gita, second chapter, verse 48. Yudhisthira Kuru karmani sangam tuktva dhananjaya. Oh Dhananjaya, Dhananjaya is one of the name of Arjuna. Why he didn't say in Arjuna, Kunti Putra, Bharata, Mahabahu? Why he said him Dhananjaya? Dhananjaya is what come to Arjuna when Yudhisthira was doing the Rajasuya Yajna. To do the Rajasuya Yajna, he has to, all the kings must be accepting him. Now since Yudhisthira was doing, and Bhisma was there, Dhritarastra was there is naturally no opposition, even if Yudhisthira tried to do it. Because at that time they had been partitioned into Indraprastha. He was the king of the Indraprastha. Then to all other the kings, either they have to surrender or they have to be defeated in the war. So that is why they leave a horse. And who was in the charge of the horse? Arjuna. Since Arjuna was a great warrior, all the kings, they surrender. They accept he is the Chakravarti Samrat, Yudhisthira. Those who didn't surrender, they are defeated. And as those who surrender, the tradition at that time that they give some gifts, donations. In that way, for Indraprastha, Arjuna collected a lot of wealth. That is the reason Arjuna was called Dhananjaya. But Krishna calling him Dhananjaya is not for that purpose. Why? Since Arjuna is questioning Krishna, questioning for knowledge. Knowledge is the highest wealth one can have, not this material wealth. Since Arjuna is after that knowledge, the highest wealth one can achieve in this life, Krishna is calling him Dhananjaya. Oh Dhananjaya, Yudhisthira Kuru karmani. If you have to do anything, any work, first be established in yoga. Yudhisthira Kuru karmani. Anything you should do, any work, any karma you should do with being established in yoga. Yudhisthira Kuru karmani. How? It is not explaining yoga. Said that you do by being established in yoga. I don't know what is yoga, how I will be established in yoga. Then he is explaining. Sangam tyukta. Oh seeker of knowledge, Dhananjaya, Sangam tyukta. You have to leave the sangha. You have to leave the attachment. Anything we do with attachment. Since we do with attachment, we are not in yoga. If one who is in yoga, he will also do. Not that he will not do the works, but he will do, being established in yoga means he will leave the attachment. If you leave the attachment, what will happen? Siddha siddho samo bhuttva. If you have no attachment, when you walk, there will be either siddhi or asiddhi, success or failure. That is the ultimate thing, anything we do. Either we get success or we get failure, or we get partial success or partial failure. That happens. All should be same to you. Samadutta means you are not elevated in the success and not going into depression in the failure, which normally happens to all of us. Something we achieve, we just jump. Something we lose, some people go for depression for years. Because we are not established in yoga. Because we have attachment. Now if you leave the attachment, then success and failure should be sama, should be equal to you. Then he is saying, Samatvam yoga uchyate. Equanimity of mind is called yoga. Equanimity of mind. You are not affected with cravings and aversions. You are not affected with success or failure. You are not affected with pain and pleasure. These are the natures. These are the realities of nature. We are affected because we are attached. I want this, I don't want this. I have to have this, I don't have to have this. So when we are attached, we are not in yoga. And success and failure becomes difficult to us. Then what he is saying in further verses in the same chapter? Buddhi yukta jahati ubhe sukrute duskrute tasmat yogaya yudhisthira yoga paramasu kausala. Another definition of yoga he is giving. Buddhi yukta. You have to be yukta with buddhi. Which buddhi? This buddhi that he is first described means being established in yoga, being detached and having the equanimity in success and failure. If you are attached with that type of buddhi, buddhi yukta means you have no desires. You are attaching to the supreme, to the consciousness. So buddhi yukta jahati, with that buddhi of detachment, jahati, live it. What you have to live? Ubhe sukrute duskrute. Both good and bad actions. Good and bad we decide in this world. We are putting these texts, good and bad. Prakrute riguna samman sajjante guna karmasu gunan gunishu vartante iti matva na sajjate in Bhagavad-Gita. Bhagavan is saying, Prakrute guna sammudha. All the things are being done in this world due to the gunas of Prakriti, the qualities of nature, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Gunan guneshu vartante. Quality is playing with quality. When Sattva plays with Rajas, we do good work. When Tamas plays with Rajas, we do bad work. Excessive Rajas quality, Kama Isha Krodha Isha Rajoguna Samadbhava. All in Bhagavad-Gita. There will be excessive desire. There will be excessive anger. All these things are the qualities of Rajas quality. So whatever is happening within us are due to these three qualities. And we as a fool thinking that we are doing. I am the doer, I am the doer. Now detach yourself from that. Then there is neither good action nor bad action for you. These are just relative terms. Buddhi yukta jahati he ubhe sukrute duskrute tasmat yogaya yudhisthira. Be engaged in that yoga. Yoga paramasu kausala. Another definition. What is yoga? Yoga is the how with kushalata.
Skillful way
you are doing the karma. What is the skill? We are not talking about the skill of technology or skill of not that skill. The inner skill. That how you are doing. Means if you are attached, you cannot do that. How? What is your inner technique of doing the things? And unfortunately, we are not able to do that. That is the thing. Again, he is saying, Srutivi pratipannate jadastasyate nischala samadha vachala buddhi stota yoga avashyate. Srutivi pratipannate. Whatever we listen, he is speaking about sound, means words. At each moment, we are always, it is always contradictory. Someone will praise you, someone will tell ill about you. You will listen different things at different times. When you are saying about listening the sound, this also includes all the five senses. Like differences in sensation, differences in vision, differences in taste, and differences in smell. All. Only we have these five senses, the five desires. We enjoy. Now, at each moment when we are doing, and they are contradictory in nature. So that's Pasyati Nishcha. When you stay still, you are not moved. Stay still means your mind is still. Your mind is not going into elevation, in happiness or in depression. Jadas tasyati nischalai. You can keep your mind steady. Then what will happen? Samadha vachala buddhi. That buddhi is the buddhi of achala. Unmoving is in samadhi. Samadha vachala buddhi. Tatha yoga avashyate. Then only yoga comes to you. Otherwise yoga is not happening. So this is how Rishi Patanjali is explaining about yoga. Sorry, Bhagavan Krishna is explaining about yoga. Rishi Patanjali, just straight line. Yoga, Chitta, Vritti, Nirodha. Very direct. Is there a contradiction then? For normal people, it may look like a contradiction. Different things. Not a contradiction, but different things. But here, if you look, you can only do like that if you are a yoga Buddha. You have achieved the state of yoga, achieved the state of samadhi. That is why he used the very word samadha vachala yoga. Samadha vachala buddhi. That means you have to be established in samadhi. If you are not doing that, then these things are not simply intellectual knowledge. You will not be able to do these things. That is why he is saying that that knowledge which Rishi Patanjali is saying is the knowledge of the self, tadavrastu swarupa avasthanam, that should be brought down to our day-to-day life. Not that I achieve samadhi, then I is there. What if I come to the, after Yudhisthira, arising out of the samadhi, what I do in this day-to-day life, in the society? That is what he is telling Bhagavan Krishna. Bringing that knowledge to your day-to-day life. How will be that? Arjuna was not able to understand. Then he asked, Sthita Prabhya Sakavasa. Samadhistasya Kesava. That is the question. What is the definition of Sthita Prabhya? One who is established in knowledge. How is it samadhi? And then he says, Sthita Dhiking, Prabhasita, Kimasita, Rajita. What he speaks, from where do he come, to where do he go? That means what is her activities. How he remains. Activities means we are not talking about the outer activities here. Of course, the inner state. Then what Krishna is saying? Prajahati jalakaman sarvan bharta gunavatan. In all your desires are inside. That is residing in your mind. Then that how that state will be? Dukhi Sudha. You are not, you don't have anxieties in sufferings. Very easy to say and listen, very difficult to practice. Not possible to practice if we have not known that state. Dukhisu udvignamana, sukhisu vigataspruha. One who has no hankering after the pleasure. Vita raga bhaya krodha. One who is beyond attachment, raga. Beyond fear, bhaya. Beyond krodha, anger. Stitadhi madhyuchyate. That's it. That is the state of yogi. That is the state of yoga. That is how further he says, explains further, is Jada Sangaranti Sayo, Kurmananjo, it's a tortoise, withdraws its limbs. What we have to withdraw here? What is our limb?
Senses.
5 sense organs. My mind goes, oh, very beautiful flower, I want to pluck it. That means what? Once I contacted with the visual object, now one with that object, I want to have that. Mind is deciding. That is not state of yoga. I will be seeing, but come inside. That is withdrawing the senses from the object of senses. I will withdraw my sense organ eye from the visual objects. I will withdraw like my ear from the objects of sound. I will withdraw. Somebody will praise me, very happy. Somebody will naturally tell against me. That is it. Is there any person about whom someone does not tell anything bad?
Bhagavan Krishna also heard bad stuff against him.
Bhagavan Krishna's life is such that people will not be able to understand him in tell bad. But what about Bhagavan Rama?
Yeah.
People also tell bad about him.
Yeah.
Maryada Purushottama, about him also. His life is very simple, one can understand what he wants to do and what he does not want to do. But Krishna, understanding him is very difficult. So maybe people tell out of ignorance. But people also tell out bad about Rama.
And Buddha.
Also about the Buddha. Is there any person about whom people also don't speak anything good? There are people, Duryodhana, Ravana, they are if you look into present day people who are creating havoc in the society, they in comparison to them, Duryodhana and Ravana and Kunta are nothing.
Yeah.
But they have also supporters. They have also admirers.
Absolutely.
That will naturally happen. But a yogi will pratyahara. He is speaking about the pratyahara. Visaya vinivartante niraharasya devi. Most of the time we do nirahara. As today's brata, I will not eat anything. Is that a nirahara? I will not eat food, but I am eating through my eyes, I am eating through my ears, I am eating through my skin, I am eating through my nose.
And
We
mind,
are always eating.
and mind is all day on the food.
Always on the. That is different.
What time can start eating?
We do normally Ekadasi. Why we do it is on the Ekadasi? On the day of Ekadasi. What is the symbolism? Why not Dasami? Why not Panchami? Of course, anyone can do fasting on any day. That is different. But why Ekadasi, fasting on Ekadasi, Nirahara, is ordained in the scriptures. Ekadasi will happen when you don't give food to your 5 senses, 5 organs of action and mind. 11. When or your 11 indriyas, 11 instruments that you are mostly utilizing when you don't give them food. Don't allow them to enjoy the subjects of their enjoyment. Then only it becomes ekadasi. That is why Krishna is saying, Visaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasavajjam rasapasya param društva nivartate. Then only you can transcend. These are the basic principles of yoga. I think if I will go on to tell like this, then I will not be able to complete. But then I am skipping just some things. Otherwise, not possible to explain yoga in just one lecture. Then comes the chapter 4. In chapter 4, he directly speaks that I have told this yoga to you earlier. How? He's telling that how you have told me to all these things when he says Imam Vivasvate Yoga. I have told to Surya, then Ikhaku. How it was possible? You have this life, and we have many lives. And I have said, you didn't remember, but I remember. I have told you all these things. Then he starts speaking about the Yoga Prukta Purata. That is why to this person, these first, second and third verses of the chapter 4, Paramahamsa Yogananda tries to establish that this is how the Kriyayoga has been explained to Arjuna by the Krishna. But actually before that, before the fourth chapter, it is already started from the very first verse. Very first verse. But this is how history has been told. Then, if we look in the fourth chapter, we will find details of some techniques. Not techniques, but indication towards the techniques. What is the Sutrandinindrinananya Sanjama Gnishu Jujati? Sabdadini Vishayananya Indriya Gnishu Jujati. So, what are the Sutra and Indriya? Sutra means our ear. When I Sutra the Indriya, means all the sense organs like the ear, which when it says one, it actually involves all these. We have to do sanjam, practice of sanjam, practice of restraint. Without practicing restraint, we cannot practice. Practicing restraint of the senses, sense organs and organs of action is very important. Then he says, besides, Sabda and others, they have to be finished. Means, we don't have to create attachment. The first thing that all will go there. Indriya Gnishu Juyati. We have to offer them, we have to oblate them in the fire of the Indriyas, fire of the organs. That means, sense organs will receive the senses. It is not that I will destroy my eye, I will destroy my ear. No, it will be there. It will be there means it will receive. But the mind is not go and create. Mind will not be attached to it. Then only yoga is possible. In that state, he is saying different types of, this is his calling yajna. How that, for that we have to do this yajna. Drabya yajna, yoga yajna, japa yajna, swadhyaya, jnana yajna. All the different types of yajnas has been described. What we do normally, drabya yajna. When we do homa, hava, we do what is drabya yajna. We put fire, that is drabya yajna. And we offer the drabya along with the mantra to the devatas. Here is speaking about all the yajnas. Drabya yajna, japa yajna, swadhyaya, jnana yajna. Here jnana yajna means not jnana. It is intellectual pursuit of the reading the scriptures, analyzing the scriptures and knowing about all this knowledge. But then what he is telling? Finally, how it will be possible that we will do inner yajna? Apane juhati prano, prana pana tatha pari pranapana gatiruddha pranayama parayana. This is the first kriya technique. This is the kriya technique, first technique, the main kriya technique. Apane yuhyati prana. We have to oblate apana into prana. Then prana into apana. Apana yuhyati. We have to oblate apana into prana and prana into apana. When by doing that, when the movement of prana and apana is stopped, that is the time you are in pranayama. What we normally translate as pranayama, breath control. No, Krishna is not telling that. Nor also Patanjali is telling that. The same thing what Patanjali is saying in a different language. Patanjali's statements are sutras are very straight. Same thing. When the movements of prana and apana will be stopped, how will do? Apana will be. This is very difficult. Those who are not practicing to understand. Normally we have 5 pranas: prana, apana, samana, vyana, and udana. But we are starting our practice with the prana and apana. Prana is normally called as inhalation. Apana is normally called as exhalation. Prana stays in the upper part of the body according to yoga, and apana in the lower part of the body. Now, here, in a spiritual practice, the role will be reversed. That is, those who have read Shankara Bhashya, Shankaracharya is telling that. Here, apana means when apana is in the lower part, we have to bring that to the upper part. And prana is in the upper part. We have to bring that into the lower part. Where we have to do? Inside the spine. So when we are in, but what we will do? We will start inhaling from the lower part. That means roles are reversed. Inhalation is called prana, but along with the inhalation, we will bring the apana into the prana, to the upper part. And exhalation is called apana, but with exhalation, we will bring the prana into the lower part. That is the practice. Simply you do that. Here, no kumbhaka is required. Just you bring apana into prana, prana into apana. How will you bring apana? We will bring apana with outer prana, the breath. And how will you bring down the with the outer breath, that is apana, you will take the prana to the down. So roles are reversed here. That is why, simply by reading the scriptures, if you don't have deep insight, people will commit mistakes in the practice. So that is how he is explaining. Apana juhiti prana, prana pana tatha. Simply you do this. One after another, one after another, one after another. Then what will happen? A state will come when the movements of prana and apana will stop. Movements will stop, that is the state. When breath is stopped, the movements of prana and apana is stopped, your mind is stopped. There will be no vritti in your mind. This is not simply theoretical knowledge. Those who are practicing, they know. This will happen. Then you are in pranayama. That time you will have vritti. Again he is saying, apuri niyatahara pranan prane sujugati. Some others, niyatahara, by regulating their ahara, food. Pranan prane sujugati. They oblate prana with prana.
Yeah.
That is the thokkar kriya technique.
Oh.
That those who don't do that, it is very difficult to understand. How? Okay, this I can understand, but how one will oblate prana with prana? This is the area. This is the inner area we are doing. So he has described all the yajnas. Does not deny any yajna.
No.
You will do according to your state. But for a yogi, this is the yajna he has to do. So this is where in the fourth, that is why the fourth chapter has been said that I have said this. This technique is described in the fourth chapter. How you will know this? So the vidhi pranipatena pariprasnena seva. Again in the fourth chapter is telling. Upadekhyam dete jnanam jnanima sattvadarshina. You have to go to a teacher. One who knows. What type of teacher? One who has known the tattva. Jnanina tattvadarshina. Not the jnani of a script, simple bookish knowledge. No. One who knows the tattva. A tattva guru. A guru who is established, who knows the tattva. What you have to do? You have to bow down before him. Pranipate, no? You have to bow down. Tat vidhi, with vidhi. As the way you should do. In that way you have to bow down and then question. Pariprasnena sevaya. You have to serve him with the genuine questions, with your desire for having the knowledge. Upadekhyam kite jnana. Then he will give you
Upadesh.
that upadesh. How to do. He already said these things. Then what is the need to go to Tattvadarshi? Because it is not easy for all the people to understand the inner meaning of this, number one. Number two, even if you are able to understand, you are still not knowing the nitty-gritty of the technique. Another very important thing in fourth chapter, in same chapter he said, one who is Shraddha, one who is Shraddha, he only is able to have the knowledge. Shraddha. What is Shraddha? Not able to describe. There is no English word for Shraddha. Translators in English, they translate, some translate as faith, some translate as devotion, but no, these words does not exactly tell the meaning what is Shraddha. Because there is no such contemporary word in other languages. The description of Shraddha given by Bhagavad-Gita Shankaracharya in Viveka Chudamani, Shastrasya, Guru Vakyasya, Sattva, Buddhi, Upasya. Shastrasya, you must have a faith in the scriptures. As yesterday I said, any book is not a scripture. A scripture is one which is been given to us by a rishi. At the state of rishihood, when he sees that knowledge. That only can be called a shastra. Not that someone, I write a book and I will call it a shastra. No, it can't be. Guru Vakyasya. In the words of the Guru, already Guru is described before, Tattvadarshi. Then only you have to follow his teachings. Sattu. You don't have to follow him blindly. The general tendency of we people is that simply we follow somebody blindly. My guru is the best guru in the world. Very good thing. If it is a sacred emotion, it's good, no problem. And whatever he says is right and whatever others says is wrong. Then someday something happened with you, then you are completely devastated because you have not followed Sattu Buddhi. Why some misconceptions, wrongdoings started in the name of religion? Because we didn't allow our Sattu Buddhi. We blindly become a blind followers. Scripture does not say you to become a blind follower. At least Krishna is not saying. Each moment he is asking to question. That Shraddha must be there. Swami Dayananda Saraswati of Asavidyakulam, he has given a definition of Shraddha. He is saying that if you go on starting questioning and everything, you cannot start a practice. So what you have to do, for a time being, you give a pause. If you don't give a pause for a time being, then you cannot start a practice. Then, after that, you evaluate. Then decide what you are doing is correct or not. Otherwise, if simply then we say, oh, then I have to question. Then I simply remain on questioning. I can't start a practice. We need a Shraddha. I tried to translate a Shraddha. I didn't find a word, then I wrote it as noble faith.
Dedicated faith.
Noble faith I wrote. Noble faith. Yes, it is a faith, means at that time you don't have knowledge, you have to believe somebody to start the practice, but that faith is based on nobility. Then tattvara. You have to become thokkar. Engaged in practice regularly. Without practicing regularly, what generally we do, in the beginning we become so enthusiastic that we practice for a maybe longer period, then after few days we stop practicing. Practicing 10 hours a day and then the rest of the week not practicing, rather you practice 2 hours every day. You have to tattvara, engage yourself in that pursuance of knowledge. Means whatever all is said previously, detachment, control of senses, all these things. Then again he is to sanjata indriya. We have to have control over your indriyas. When the indriya is said, he is talking about the 11. 5 sense organs, 5 organs of action and mind. Then only dhyana. That will lead to knowledge. These are the first preconditions. Techniques are not the preconditions. Techniques anyone can teach you, one who knows. Demons also know techniques. They are great people of great penance. But finally what they did harm to the society. Because they are putting their ego, their sense pleasure in their forefront. So in this way, why I am telling that what is this state? The next verse it says, Abhyascha asradhadanascha samsayatma vinasati. If you start doing samsaya from the beginning, then we cannot start practicing. That is why maybe Swamiji said that for a short period, you have to give a pause to obey, to see the effects. Otherwise, if you start on doubting everything, because I say Krishna says that you have to question, then I will start doubting everything, then I cannot start a practice. I find there are some people, they just move from gurus to gurus. They are highly versed in the scripture. They will go on questioning and they can defeat anyone in the debates that they can start practice. That is samsaya. So these are the conditions of yoga, how to start a yoga practice. Then entire 6th chapter is Kriyayoga. Entire 6th chapter. Every verse is Kriyayoga. They started with 2nd, but every verse but it started with the 27th verse of chapter 5th. What he said? Sparsam kutva bahirvaham saikhus chaivantare bhuvu pranapano samakutva nasadantara charena. Techniques, this is the technique. From the verse we cannot know a technique, but it's simple technique. What is it? Like sparsha. Sparsha bahirbahyam. We have to keep them out. When we say sparsha, we are saying also all the fire. Then you have to put your mind. Inside the Bhruva, here at the Agya Chakra, at the beginning of the medulla point. Pranapanam gatiruddha. No, sorry, pranapano samakrutva. When gatiruddha will be there, then it will become sama. Then that is the technique, prana. And this is pranapana samakrutva nasa bhantara charina. Nasa, anyway, air is moving inside the nasa, but when he is speaking nasa, is not keeping simply to keep your gaze at the nose. Some people just gaze the nose. That is a technique. But here he is not simply talking about that. That means he is talking about inside the nose. That means all inside in the mostly refers to the spine. Not simply the physical nose tip. Here your nose is from this point. So inside that you have to move. That is the technique. Then comes the sixth chapter. Entire sixth chapter is Kriyayoga. Entire sixth chapter. First he described what is who is a yogi and who is a sannyasi. Saying that anasrita karma phala karyam karma karoti. If you are doing any work without being attached to the karma phala, result of the action, anasrita karma phala, you are not attached to the fruits and doing simply because you are in this world and you cannot simply remain aloof from doing the work. Just you are doing. And that is the one who is called sannyasi. He is the one who is called sannyasi. Sannyas means one who has renunciated, detached, left everything. If that we are not doing, we have not renunciated, we are attached with the karma phala. The work we are doing, we want a result. Then we are not neither a sannyasi nor a yogi. If we are doing that, that is the sannyasi and he is the yogi. And he is clearly saying, no niragni, no cha kriya. No cha kriya. One who has left agni and kriya. When we become sannyasi, the rule is that we should not touch the fire. Means a sannyasi don't have to cook his food. Nowadays, not possible. What he has to do is to beg food. In Narajya Upanishad, it is said that he has to go to the 5 houses only. If he gets food from the first house, he don't have to go to the other house. Then ask for begging. Bhumata Bhagavati Bhikhyam De. Or Bhagavati Bhikhyam De. Somewhere it is Bhagavati Bhikhyam De, somewhere it is Bhagavati Bhikhyam De. Just once. And stand there. Till the time that is required for milking a cow. If you get the bhikya, return back. If you don't get that, then go to the next house. In this way, you can go only to the 5 houses. If you don't get the food from the 5 houses, then just come, drink water and sleep. These are the rules for sannyasa in the Vedic days. In Vedic days, these are the rules for sannyasa. That is why I said, one who has left the fire. Also a sannyasi does not do yajna, dravya yajna. Because all dravya yajnas in this world are done with a desire. You want a son, you have to do some yajna. You want wealth, you have to do some yajna. you want to go to heaven, you have to give Havi to Indra. So yajnas are always with the desires. He is speaking about this yajna. That means you are putting oblations to the fire. Now sannyasis don't do that because they are only their work is persuasion of knowledge. So he is saying that even if you have left the fire, not cooking your food, not doing yajnas for desires, no cha kriya, no cha kriya. Means you have become you are not doing any kriya. Here kriya means all the yajna and other kriyas. The kriyas that the work household people do. That does not make you a sannyasi. According to Krishna, only if you have honest karma. You are not dependent on the results of the actions. Then you are a sannyasi, also you are a yogi. According to Bhagavan Krishna, there is no difference between sannyasa and yoga. Detachment is the key. Then he started his entire 6th chapter describes this. Yogi junjita satato matmanang rahasya sthita ekaki yata chitatma nirasira paridra. Ekaki. How you will do the ekaki? You have to leave your house. Go to some cave. Then only you will be ekaki. Nirasira paridra. When you don't have any agamba and dependence. I can go to a cave. Then if someone comes to my cave, no, this is my cave. Then am I detached?
You are attached to the cave.
Ekaki, you have to become here ekaki. Of course, for a practice in Bhagavad-Gita, Vivikta Desasavita. When Vivikta Desasavita it is said in Bhagavad-Gita, then it is not about this ekaki. This is about, for a time being, you have to leave the company of the human beings and to go to a seclusion. There it is speaking. Otherwise you cannot enhance you cannot accelerate your practice. But here when he is telling about ekaki, it is not talking about this. You have to be ekaki here. You have to only attach to your consciousness. Not to your mind, not to your intellect, not to your senses, not to your thoughts. That is how what we are doing is actually the Kriyayoga. Then it's how we will do this. Suchudisya pratisthapya sthira manasamatmanam na chitam nati nicham chela jina pusattara. In a place where there is no dance, no smokes, no dust, in such a place you have to put your asana. It should not be very high, it should not be very low. There should be a mat of kusha grass, then deer skin, then cotton cloth. That means an insulating mat. You have to make an insulating mat. Because when you do prana sadhana, try to uplift your prana to the, from Muladhara to Sahasrara. If you sit on a bare floor, it is not possible because earth is a big magnet. That is, he is telling about asana. Then, tattekagram manaputta jata chittendriyatriya upavesyasane junjat yogamatma visuddhaya. Practicing concentration. Directly coming to the techniques. Not nitty-gritties, details of the techniques, but he is telling. Samakaya sirogrivam dharayana chalamstira. Your body, neck and head should be in one straight line. Dharaya, achalan. There should not be any movement in your body. Stiram. Your mind should be steady. Sankhepra nasikagram. Then again he is telling. Sankhepra nasikagram sa disas chanavalokaya. Concentrate at the tip of the nose. Tip of the nose is also a practice, but most of the commentators will say that tip of the nose is simply not a physical nose. Your Muladhara is also tip of the nose. Your Ajna Chakra is also the tip of the nose. You have to practice concentration within your body. And this is now don't look anywhere. Means don't go into any other thoughts. Simply practice. So in this way you will find.
I have one question.
Yes.
So you concentrate here or here?
No,
You can
no.
meditate. There.
Inside. In Kriyayoga technique, you don't concentrate on the physical nose. Of course, in Buddhism, they concentrate on the physical nose. Our yogic traditions, not only our tradition or the other traditions, we normally don't concentrate on the tip of the physical nose. Yukta hara viharasya yukta chestasya karma. Ahara vihara should be yukta. Your karma, chesta, all these should be yukta. Yukta sopna bodhavasya yoga bhakti dukkha. Even your dream should be yukta. Then, for you, yoga will be the cause of elimination of suffering. So, how will be yukta? What is yukta? Translations, many English translations, they say moderate. We are discussing in the morning. Then what he is saying? Nispruha sarva kamebhyo yukta iti chutesana. He has given the definition of yukta. What is yukta? Nispruha sarva kamebhyo. When you have no spruha, no hankering of any desires, nispruha sarva kamebhyo. Then only you are called yukta. If you have hankering for any desire, then you are not a yukta. He is speaking about that yukta. Jathadi punvataste lingvadesi vasu. Jugina jati chittasya junjate yugamatma. This is the very simple, he is giving, as you can take lamp, evam deepa, as the flame does not flicker. If there is wind, there is flicker. So that if you keep in a place where there is no wind, then the way the flame is there, your mind should be like there, steady that. That is the example given. Then what is the winds? Winds are the activities of your mind. That will disturb that flame. So in this way, we will find that Sanai sanai rupar mad buddha dhroti grahita. Again he said. One day I came to learn, we said that when it will be happen, how many days it will take to. You have taken 10 years to class, 12 years for a schooling, 10 years for primary secondary school and 2 years for higher secondary school, then 4 years for graduation, then 2 years for post-graduation, then 5 years for a PhD, then what do you know about the subject? What do you know about the subject? Then you realize that actually you have not known anything about the subject, just a little. For this is an ordinary knowledge in this world, you spend 12 plus 4 plus 2. 12, 6, 18, then 5. 23 years. And now just one day you come and learn the technique, next day you want to samadhi. That is not going to happen. Sanai sanai ruparmat, slowly, slowly. You have to go step by step, slowly, slowly. Sanai sanai ruparmat buddha dhroti grahita. You will hold that in your intellect slowly. Because for us, why he is telling again about the buddhi and the buddhi? Because whatever we will know through our buddhi. We know the entire world through our buddhi. Be it science, be it physics, be it economics, be it political science, whatever we are learning in this world. Our buddhi is the key. is the instrument. Do we have any other instrument than our mind and intellect to know anything in this world? We don't have. If you have to know, we have also to know the self. We have to also know through that buddhi. That is why we have to work on that. In Smriti, somewhere it is said buddhi, somewhere it is said mind, mana, somewhere it is said chitta. What's vary in different scriptures? But it is indicating to that principle, which is the cognizance principle, which is the knowing principle within us, and we don't have anything else other than that to know.
Guruji, one question comes here. The yo buddhe paratastu saha kaile. So that means it is above the buddhi.
Above the buddhi.
Above the buddhi. So is it, when we know, do we know it with our buddhi or give up the buddhi?
No. Not giving up the buddhi.
No,
Here, parasastu means there is no activity, there is no vritti.
There is no buddhi.
There is no. Suppose once we are silent, our mind sometimes naturally descends silence. We say, my mind was not there. My mind was not there. And actually, our mind was not there. Activities of mind was not there. See, what it is saying, we are talking about the vrittis, we are talking about the activities. That we should transcend. I am transcendenting, I don't have a bodily feeling. We transcendent. Normally, those who meditate, after a period, they find that during the meditation, they don't have the bodily feeling. Does that mean that body is not there? Body is there, very much there. Buddhi is there, mind is there, activities are not there. So, that knowledge, our intellect, here you are talking about the intellect, what in Yoga Shastra we called the Vivek Pragya, Prasankhyanagni. So that part of the intellect, that will gradually hold the knowledge. We have to go it slow. Suddenly it does not happen. When and that knowledge of the consciousness will descend, it will descend suddenly at a point. But to go to that state, we have to progress slowly. And there we start practicing, it is a learning process. Learning, or you can say unlearning process. What we have learned, we are making it unlearn.
That's what I was actually indicating about buddhi. Now the buddhi we have,
that knowledge,
it's purified. That
knowledge is after Visaya, after Vasana. That we have to, that is purified. We are going Abana banile, Amapo mapile. In Odia we say, you have to become Abana. But whatever you have become, you have to reverse it.
So you have to discard this mind, this intelligence, or you have to discard it completely?
Not to discard, discarding the attachment. Discarding the attachment. Discarding, how you will discard your intellect? It is there with you. Without that, in this world, you cannot work and do anything.
you will not know.
Even your practice, what we are doing, we are doing with mind, with intellect. But that we are taking life force as a tool. But we are there only we will have knowledge. But that is the more main obstacle in attaining the knowledge. Where we will have the knowledge, presently that is the main obstacle in attaining the knowledge. If we go on practicing like this, gradually we will go step by step. And when all these things are listened by Arjuna, what he said is, what you are telling me to work all with the mind, all with the intellect, to make it steady, to make it devoid of desires. Chanchal saying question, Chanchalan Himana Krishna, Pramathi Bhagavad-Gita Tasyaham Nigraham Manne Bayuriva Sudhuskaram. Oh Krishna, mind is fickle, chanchal, pramatha. Not only fickle, it is pramatha. Pramatha means does not want to obey. Bhagavad-Gita. Even if I apply force, tasyaham nigraham manne. To control such a mind, it is difficult as one has to hold air into one place. Not possible. We were telling, very difficult. How can you fix air into one place? Air can spread everywhere. Similarly, you are asking a very fickle and powerful mind to me to control. Then Krishna what said to him? He didn't deny this. Asansaya Mahavahu Manodurnigrahachala. O Mahavahu, the great armed one, it is very difficult to Durnigrahachala. To control the mind, to have mastery over the mind is very difficult. I didn't disagree with this. But simultaneously, now he is addressing Arjuna as a Mahavahu. One with great arms. Bahu, and by which you do the work. Arjuna, among all in that age, is taken as a great performer. Anything he does, he does it with complete perfection. Any task is given to him, he completes. And you are saying that you will not be able to do. You are a performer. You are an achiever. If you tell like this, then what others will tell? So he is giving out. Arjuna is you yourself. Now, the consciousness, the Guru Krishna within us, he is telling us, you are actually a performer. Don't think that you will not be able to do. Abhyasena by practice. Oh, the son of Kunti. And now he is again speaking, you are the child of Kunti. One who can throw Kunta. That is referring to the practice. It will happen by practice. Do the practice of breath. Throw your Kunta again and again. Vairagyena chupuriyate. Practice detachment, practice detachment, practice detachment. Patanjali directly says, Abhyasa vairagye. No, tam virodha. But Krishna takes a lot of patience to explain it in detail and tell it. So this is what we have to do. Now there are a lot of things to tell, but I will conclude with Tapasya. Finally he says, Tapasya bhadhiko yogi, jnani bhopi matodhiko, karma bhasyadhiko yogi, tasmat yogi bhavat. Oh Arjuna, yogi is better than a tapasya. Anyone can do tapas. Asuras are doing a lot of tapas. The tapas the asuras has done, no one else has done tapas like that. But they are not established in yoga. They are established in ego and did the tapas. That is why they become asura. Yogi also does tapa, but he is better than a tapas. Because his tapas, his austerities are not for achieving anything within the world. Jnani bhupi matodhika, also better than a jnani. Now, this does not sound good. How can a yogi become better than a jnani? Jnana is the goal. Knowledge is the goal. So one who has the knowledge of the self, how can a yogi be a practitioner be better than that? Here jnani does not refer to the knower of the self. Here jnani refers to those who are engaged in studies, scriptural knowledge, intellectual knowledge, not to those who has the knowledge of the self. Jnani bhopi matodhiko, karma bhasyadhiko yogi. He is also better than the karmas. Those who do karma. So, Arjuna be a yogi. That is how yoga has been described in Bhagavad-Gita, and the central part if you do, the 6th chapter and the 4th chapter. We are getting the glimpses into the techniques, not the detailed techniques, other than the main kriya and some others, like asana, main kriya, pranayama. These techniques we are getting. But it is, entire one is the philosophy. And we are getting about the Kriyayoga on 4th and 6th. And philosophically, you can say the second chapter. But all is yoga. Anything you can ask?
Any questions? Please. take
Yeah, I
time.
have a-
So common person, family holder like that, how to become a yogi? And is it needed to be yogi?
He is talking only to the common persons. Krishna is talking to the person of Arjuna, who is just a warrior, have wives, have children, have a duty to protect the kingdom. He is telling to him. Only it is a inner practice. We have to, that is how he is telling about how we will do. The central point here in this is renouncing. To renounce the worldly attachments, not the world. Worldly attachments. How we will renounce that? We have to cling to the consciousness of principle. How will you cling to that consciousness of principle? You have to practice concentration and movement of your prana within. And when you practice that, you don't look into any other things. So by this practice, sanai ruparveda, slowly and slowly you will go on achieving and achieving.
I have one question. Krishna says that you should do your duty without any expecting any result. That's it to the goal. On a practical point, when I see a patient, my desire to get the best result out of whatever treatment I'm giving. So is that contributor desire?
No, he's not saying that. He's not saying that. When you are performing a duty, if while performing that duty, do you have attachment? Now, if you selflessly do a service, because I am a doctor, I have to serve the patients, then you don't have any desire. But when it is related, it can be related to money, it can be related to name, it can be related to fame, it can be related to any other things, then it becomes, then that is, you are attached to the desires. But simply you are doing a service to the mankind, either in form treating a patient, that is not. That is in that way you don't create a karma. But if you have a desire, then what will you do? Now we are creating a good karma. Serving somebody is a good karma. It is not a bad karma. Same knife can be used by someone to kill somebody. It is a bad karma. Now this good karma will take you, will give you good results. And you will enjoy those results. And that is a blockage in attaining the knowledge. That is a blockage in attaining the knowledge. That is why he is saying to become desire free. Because knowing you are doing a good karma, so why it should be denied? No, it is not denied. You do it. But since you have desires with that, you will have reap the fruits. And that fruits is a good result. Maybe a place in the heaven. Or maybe people will adore you. Maybe after your death, people will put one of your portrait in the same hospital and will put everyday flowers on it. Now you are happy for all these things. All these will give are good results, but a obstacle.
But student also is studying for exam with the desire to pass the exam, right? Without that desire, that expectation to pass the exam, he will not study. So, is it wrong to have
But what is happening? See, there are 60 students in a class. All cannot become fast. but all desire to become a fast. Then what will happen? The results. One may go into depression. Why is going to depression? Because of the desire, not because of study. In other way, the scriptures say, Chhatranam adhyanam tap. For a student, studying is the tapas. That is the tapas for them. But we put, why I am doing? I will do a good job. I will have a very good house. I will have a beautiful wife or beautiful husband and two big beautiful dogs. These are what actually, if you analyze, these are very ordinary things we ask for. Very ordinary things we are asking for. Anyway, all these things will come to you. Even if you do without the desires, all these things will come to you. But with the desires, you are putting obstacle on your path.
I mean, Guruji, sometimes this desires also coming to us subconsciously, even without consciously.
Yes, yes.
So is there any techniques to control that?
That is how you can reprogram your subconscious. Our subconscious is the way we is programmed, we are behaving that way. So, how we will reprogram our subconscious? Meditation is the key. At the time of meditation, if we do not allow, what we are doing? We are suppressing everything. From the subconscious, things are cropping up, whatever is there, stored. Now, we stop it. If that is stopped and not manifested for a longer period, then that will become weak, will be weak into it. That is what Rishi Patanjali is saying, Prati prasava heya sukha. When their prasava, means delivery, is stopped, their manifestations are stopped, they will gradually become weak. In this way, we can change the imprints. The imprints that is in their subconscious, which is powerful, we can make them weak.
So you suppress this thought or
No,
the
suppress.
thought or watch the thought.
Hmm?
Suppose the thoughts comes up, you suppress it or watch it.
Don't suppress, don't suppress. If you will suppress, don't use your force.
Oh.
Practice detachment, practice neutrality. Don't create further craving or further hatred for those thoughts. Thoughts, either you can, if it was good for you, good to your mind, you will crave it again. If it was bad to your mind, we will try to prevent it. And by doing that, we do the mistake. Just know it. And don't create further craving and also aversion.
Guruji, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Not everyone in the family understands the desire to do meditation, the desire to be on this path. But if you're in a family where this is a conflict, how do you manage that?
Very difficult. Very difficult. I don't say it is easy. But what you have to do, either if you can convince them and take with them, then it is easy. If you can't do that, then you have to do on your own. On your own.
And
When
it
I
makes
was
you
just
more
like-
detached.
when I was meditating in the beginning, I was meditating when everyone was sleeping. 10 o'clock I go to bed, 12 o'clock I will get up, everyone is sleeping, I will sit for meditation. And it took a long time from there to find out that I am meditating. Of course, there was no opposition, but still there.
It also makes you detached from the family members. No?
Detachment means you will work for them, but without any attachment. Now thing is that you are attached, say, for your child.
Yes.
Then what your child will do a mistake, then you will try to hide it from public. You will do it naturally because you love your child. Then can you make your child, give your child a proper education? A person who is established in truth, he will never allow his child to be spoiled. Whatever in the name of love we do to our children, we spoil them, mostly. Because my child. Had that child been not your child, doesn't matter to you whether he is good or bad. So, you are not worried that whether he is good or bad, you are worried because you are my child. My child takes my feeling of I, me and mine takes the precedence over the child.
So you shouldn't feel bad because they are not practicing or they do not feel the same desire.
No, we are not giving them the answer. That is not their fault. It is not a fault of anyone. In Vedic age, there was a different type of environment. Nowadays, the entire environment is materialistic. How much material success you can get, that is also a life learning process. Once you get the success, then you say, no, what I got. Then you turn back. So this is a natural process. The thing is that now I am speaking something. Am I the same thing before some years before? No. We are all of us are evolving in this world. All of us are evolving. So one is some stage. One is very cruel maybe one day. Next day that person becomes very kind. Changes do happen. So only how we learn from our life. If a bandit like Angurya can be changed, why can't the people be changed? But for that, to change the bandit who was extremely violent, the person who changed him was completely established in non-violence. Otherwise, if I will go to change, intellect will kill me. For all the things, if I have greed in me, myself, and I will teach my children, like you have to become generous, how it will be? It will not. They observe the parents very much. They observe it, they know it. Because from childhood, as I said, subconscious programming is taking place. How subconscious programming is taking place? From the environment. What they learn from parents, what they learn from the neighbors, what they learn from the teachers. Even if you don't tell anything, they just learn from the environment. And there is a subconscious programming. Now I say something, how it will work? And illustration I am doing that one young lady from Australia he wanted to discuss me certain things. She wanted to discuss. Her mother was abusing her very much abusing. The reason is her mother was an orphan. Brought up in an orphanage. Childhood who was before coming to the orphanage was very traumatic. That made her cruel. But she can't has power to take revenge on anybody in the world. So what he will have? Only child, daughter. So she is showing her power, mighty, everything on her daughter. So she used to beat her. Now this girl was also has grown up, started to define. Then the way they started to define, the mother beats more. But I told her that what you do, don't react to your mother. You just understand her state of mind and be compassionate to her. Why she is doing that? She is also a human being like other human beings. Because of her past trauma and the past that has made her like that. You just experiment with your own mother, don't react. be compassionate. Then, when mother started beating, he just simply remained silent and started smiling. Mother was shocked. What is happening to this girl? Next day she did the same thing. Then after that the mother asked the girl, what has happened to you? Why you are not reacting? She said, I don't feel angry on you. I have no anger towards you. I don't feel anything bad towards you. Then the mother changed. Thing is that we don't want to understand the other people. Always we try to say that I am the right person, I am doing the right thing. Yes, someone is doing wrong thing. Why is doing the wrong thing? Something must be there. Some problem must be there. We don't want to try to understand that. It is not also our fault because we have not evolved into consciousness in that. When we evolve, we change.
Guruji, you mentioned about meditating in the night when you started the family. Is there some time or something like that, like I'm family, I have everything?
Normally in the family, if you explain the people don't object. Normally. Very rare families, people object. Mostly the women object that if someone will meditate, maybe he will become a monk, leave the house. That is the common perception. Then it is not that people will meditate. In the Vedic age, all are meditating. All the rishis are householders. All our rishis are householders. Remaining in the house, they have achieved the highest knowledge. Now you can ask me why you have left. If I could have that knowledge at that time, then I could not have. Should come at a time. But I didn't have proper knowledge, maybe proper knowledge at that time. Yes, we have more time to practice. Householders have very less time to practice. That is the difference. And in some houses, I think the women are, but the men do not want. That is rare. But less than this, the other one. But if someone talks, most of the things we don't have proper conversation. We don't want to understand. If there is proper conversation, it can be solved in many places. Still then there will be some places where it will not, one will not be able to solve.
Prabhuji, this karma thing is slightly different, but again within the concept of Gita. So this is really applicable and is true. What is your experience? Like we are seeing, like people like corrupt people, politicians, they have a lot of power, money, fame. Good people, they're suffering, they're getting illness and financial suffering sometimes.
Yes.
So then how do
I
you explain
agree
that
with you.
and how it is that karma there and is it past birth or what is the one that is giving that
The
logic?
thing is that other than the doctrine of karma, we don't have any other explanation. We don't have any other explanation. Yes, we see, I see, there are families who have never done anything bad in their life. Never done anything bad. Not harmed anybody. Sufferings come in many ways too. And I also see that people who are doing everyday bad things, they don't have any problem. That happens. That is not a wrong thing, we find. But other than this, that is the previous birth and karma, prarabdha karma, we don't have any other explanation. If I say it is God's, it is why God, who is the Almighty, made us differently, made us imperfect, and then punishing us for our imperfection. That is not the answer. Only doctrine of karma is the answer. Maybe someday we will find a better answer, but till today we have not got any better answer.
So Guruji, what is the best way to, if I can use the word, burn off the prarabdha karmas, instead of having to take birth after birth and going through the cycle?
Bhagavan says in Bhagavad-Gita, Jnanagni sarvakarmana masvat kurutya. Till you are established in jnana, all your karma will not be birth. Only knowledge of the self, knowledge of the Brahman, whatever you may call, that will finish. And till that, what we have to do? We have to do good karma. Dharmena papana vadate. By doing the good actions, we can mitigate the effects of the bad karma papas. We have to do purushartha, not artha and kama to mitigate this. Only dharma. Dharma purushartha will help.
In the light of Bhagavad-Gita, can you throw some light on the last, after all the Bhagavad-Gita was taught by Lord Krishna, then towards the end he says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarvapapabhyo moksha krishnamasti.
Here Krishna is the principle. Krishna is not a name and a form. But if I say that, then some people will be hot. Some people, they have a sacred attachment to the name and the form. Krishna was the knower of that knowledge. That is why telling Krishna is not wrong. To surrender before Krishna is not wrong. But Krishna, if you say Krishna, the same as Shiva, the same as Brahma, the same as Vishnu. So that is a principle, that is a tattva. What is that principle? That principle is pure existence. Such. That principle is consciousness, pure consciousness. That is the principle of bliss. That is the principle of infinity. And once you surrender to that better principle, then your small mind, that is like merging your individuality into the totality.
The significance of Sarva dharman parityajya, that's what I'm trying to understand.
Dharma, we don't have to stay in Indriya Dharma, in the Dharma of our senses, in the Dharma of our mind, in the Dharma of our intellect, in the Dharma of the rules and regulations of a religion, dogmas and doctrines of a religion. That is all social need. But for realization, that is our inner journey, my own inner journey. So, why I am there in the social rules and regulations? Social and rules and regulations are on how a society can be run smoothly. And that is why it should be dharma-based. But when we go there, we have to leave all. Dharma and adharma, we have to leave all. First, with the dharma, we will cross across the adharma, then also we have to live there. Everything we have to do. Something we have to. What happened? When Parshurama made the Rama, and finally he said that, Rama said that I have put the bow on the arrow, and now it has to go. So what I will destroy? Parshurama has a power that he can move anywhere, anytime. He said, I have given this land donated. Now I can't stay here. I have to go back. So what you destroy? To destroy all my punyas. Parshurama had so much punya that he has to enjoy those punyas in defend the locals. He said, destroy all my punyas. So finally, we have to leave everything. That is the ultimate state. Means we will not have a river will not have its separate identity. Now river is the sea when it merges. Till it merges, it is the river. Once the river merges with the sea, where we will find the river? You can't keep your separate identity. To keep your separate identity, you have your own dharmas.
So it does not mean that stop all the teachings that he did before. Like continue doing that and
Start on.
no, I'm saying he taught in all the previous chapters all the things that Arjuna should follow, and towards the end he said
That is the journey.
right.
That is the journey.
Right.
Now I am practicing. How I am practicing? Can I practice without my senses? Can I practice without my body? Can I practice without my mind? Can I practice without my intellect? Now what I have to do? Leave the forbidden ones. Do the good ones. Then I have to leave also them.
Okay.
Thank you.
So what happens?
So what
when-
is the good one? The thief is thinking stealing is the good one. So what is it? That is the common people are getting that doubt, right? That confusion.
The thief
What is
also
the good?
knows that what he is doing is wrong.
So that is the conscience. You have to listen to the conscience then.
Thief knows. Does the thief doesn't know that what he is
does.
doing is wrong? He knows.
You know,
Because he's hiding. He's not doing it.
One who is ruling over others by the power and ego, doesn't he know that it is wrong? He knows.
so he is overruling that in his mind.
Yes, because his mind is conditioned in such a way that he needs to listen to the voice within. That does not mean that he does not know. He knows.
So you have to listen to that inner conscience.
If you, I said, present day in society major problem is alcoholism and drug. You ask about, and there are educated people. Mostly these engineering students, you ask them what are the bad, ask them to give a lecture on what are the bad effects of alcoholism. They can give you a much better insight than you have. It does not know that they don't know. They know it.
Guruji, I was just going to say.
Guruji,
that,
I have a question.
sorry.
I don't know,
Go ahead.
it's not regular this question. The Tattva Gyana, you were talking about all those characters in Mahabharata. I'm just curious, what is the Tattva behind Draupadi, the character?
That is unifying the five senses. Who is unifying the five? Who is unifying your vision? Without your mind you cannot.
Right. Mind.
It is your mind, a good mind. Bringing them to the path of Dharma when they are deviating from the path of Dharma.
But in that character, Krishna is doing that, and
Krishna is consciousness. The power, the Krishna's principle gets reflected in Draupadi. That is why Draupadi is called Krishna,
yes.
the sister of Krishna, sisterly quality. Krishna is the consciousness.
I was just going to give a comment on that. You mentioned, Guruji, about Krishna. Some people associate with him with his name and form, but he himself has said in the Bhagavad-Gita, Aham Atma Gurakesha, Sarva Bhuta Sayastita.
He
I
said-
am Atman only.
He has shown Arjuna.
Yeah.
When he has shown Arjuna
Yeah.
that I have 1,000 heads,
Yeah.
1,000 hands, 1,000 legs, I am everywhere.
Yeah.
That is the 11th chapter. Then only came Bhakti.
Right.
After that there is Bhakti Yoga. Before that he was not taking Bhakti Yoga.
Right.
Now Arjuna knows who Krishna is.
Is.
Then the discussion about the Bhakti.
Yeah.
In 6th chapter there will be Dhyana.
Hmm.
In 12th chapter there will be Bhakti. In 18th chapter there will be Moksha.
Moksha. Right. See, principle Sarva Dharman Parityajya. Satyavara is everything we leave behind, including that sense of ego.
And before that we told Vibhuti. Vibhuti Yoga, 10th. That was, even after telling all the Vibhutis, Arjuna was not convinced. Then he has to show him.
Yeah. Experience, Vijnana Vakara.
I have one question. Even Krishna said that in some chapter, I don't remember, meditating with form, meditating without form. He says if you
12th
meditate
chapter.
with form, you can get moksha.
12th chapter.
In bhakti. In bhakti he is saying,
Is that means the bhakti is the...
when he said that when he is questioning, who among them is the best? That was the question. And, there was a monk in India, his name was Ramananda Saraswati. And just his explanation is that this question is like a childish question. He says, Arjuna's question is like childish question. Say, for example, a 2-year-old boy asks his mother, "Dear mother, to whom you love more, me or my father?" So what the mother will tell? Mother will certainly take the boy in the lap and will say, "I love you boy." And that is not wrong. Is that wrong? That is not wrong. Similarly, like here, when you come with a name and form, it is easier to go. It is easier to go. When you come without a name and form, it is really difficult.
For a conditioned mind.
For a conditioned mind. That is the thing. So most of the people, for them, reaching to that state, they have to start through a name. We all have started through a name and form. Who is here not started through a name and form? When Vivekananda was asked, he said, "I got all this knowledge by sitting on the feet of a idol worshipper." By sitting on the feet of a Murti Puja, I got all the knowledge of Vedanta. Problem, he thing is that in our tradition, there is not one way. Ways are different, means are different, goal is one. So we don't denounce any way. We don't reject any way. That is the way for me may not be the same way for you, because you are in a different place, I am in a different place, and we are traveling to one place. Anything else?
Any other? What time is it? 4:30. 4:30? Perfect time.
Okay, we can stop now. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः
सर्वे सन्तु निरामया
सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः
सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु
सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु
मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्
मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्
ॐ शान्ति
ॐ शान्ति
शान्ति
शान्तिः
शान्ति
शान्तिः
Without truly diving deeper, we don't truly collect the pearls that is hidden in there. So thank you so much for that and your satsang.